very wonderful room to be in, although if you didn't have anything to play these on, it would be almost heartbreaking.
Do you go to the movies often?
I often do,
Yeah.
I must say. Although, very often to documentaries.
Did you like Westerns or not
I
really?
didn't really like Westerns because, I don't know, I felt they were too manly for me. I felt uncomfortable. I watched, when I was a kid, I watched Western television shows because you honestly can't tell whether you like things or you hate them when you're a kid. Sometimes you feel that you like something that actually that's a feeling of absolute hate. I'll comment on this for sure because I saw a weekend of Godard with my mother, and I was enraged by it, and I said, this is the most horrible thing that I've ever seen. I hate it. And over the course of maybe 2 days, it sank in on me. And I then decided that it was like my favorite movie that I'd ever seen in my life.
And it was prophetic.
And it was prophetic.
Yes, it was prophetic.
It was a great, great film, and it was a big shock to me that could happen.
I had a very interesting experience with Antonioni, which is slightly the opposite of what happened to you, because I loved his movies when they came out, because he seemed, again, like a prophet. He was showing the shape of things to come. And then about 25 years later, I went back to see his movies and hated them because the world had already become what Antonioni was predicting. And then, about 10 years later, I went back to them and again was just staggered by them.
Absolutely.
I had an interesting experience with him. There was a screening of Red Desert, which is maybe my favorite of his films. A director's cut at MoMA, and somebody took us as a surprise and didn't tell us where we were going because Antonioni is Cindy, my wife's favorite filmmaker. And there were these little tables we sat at for dinner after the screening of the film. And strangely enough, Antonioni was at the next table and sitting all by himself. Everybody had left him, either because he only spoke Italian or French. And I went and sat next to him and said, introduced myself, and I said, this must be an amazing night for you. And he said, no, I hate it tonight. I said, why? He said, there are 14 frames in the film that I can't stand. And every time I see the film, it breaks my heart that I can't do those over again.
That's the tragedy of film.
Well, yeah, there is one scene in our film, Vanya on 42nd Street, where I always leave my seat and go to the bathroom because I know there was another way of doing that scene.
Goodness me. This is the late and very adorable Paul Bartel, Eating Raoul, a wonderful film from the time of my dinner with André by a wonderful filmmaker. Anybody who hasn't seen this,
Well, I haven't. Let me take a look.
I'm sure you did at the time.
Do you have a nationality of films you prefer, Wall?
Wow. I suppose. Well, I don't really. I mean, my favorite films come from a lot of different places. I mean, I think if I had to watch 10 films by one person, I'd watch Chabrol.
Oh, yeah, I love
Who is,
Chabrol.
But I like my favorite films are from all over.
Oh, look, there's our box set.
This is one I can highly recommend.
Oh, Colonel Blimp. Yes.
This is one of the great films ever. I like all of their films, but this was one of the very, very most thrilling.
Yeah, that one was wonderful.
I don't particularly like to talk about films. That's honestly the truth.